horrific. Metro police say 2 more women claim they were inappropriately touched by a massage therapist at a spa in Belmead. Julius Hamilton was charged with rape earlier this week after a customer reported she was groped and Hamilton slid her hands down her body. Marius Payton has new details now from today's police report. So Marius, Hamilton didn't have any complaints before this.
Tracy, he did not. And when we first reported this story Monday, we learned he previously worked in Memphis and moved to Nashville about 5 years ago. He had his license for 10 years and nothing was on his record. But after seeing the story about the woman who was allegedly sexually assaulted by him at the Escape Day Spa and Salon, 2 more women came forward. The 2 women who just came forward said they were inappropriately touched by him during a massage in the last month. The first woman to report him went through her experience last weekend. Police say Hamilton initially denied doing anything wrong, but after being told the woman was going to get tested for DNA, he admitted what he did to investigators. Hamilton's license has been revoked. He was also fired from the spa. Escape told us in a statement that they take any allegations of misconduct extremely seriously and are fully cooperating with investigators. Metro Police are asking anyone who may have interacted with Hamilton to call them. We'll have their information on our website. Also, if you ever have a suspicious feeling about someone giving you a service like a massage therapist, you can always check if they're licensed by the state on the Tennessee Department of Health website. Now, we have a direct link to their site in the WSMV4 News app. Lydia.